Do you need a good, thoughtful gift for that tabletop role-playing game lover in your life? Or maybe you just want to buy yourself something cool for the holiday season? Well, I've got you covered with a bunch of unique recommendations. Now, my list isn't all game... Oh yeah, intro animation. Now, my list isn't all games, but let's start off with the games that I've recommended to people more than any other this year. First is Perils and Princesses by Ryan Lynch. This is my kind of game right here. Fantasy and whimsy with simple mechanics. There's only 3 stats, a bunch of fun classes and magic items, plus there's some little extra mechanics like the heart dice. It works exactly like you would think, healing during a rest, but you can also use it to help your fellow princesses at the last second. You know, really incentivizes some friendly cooperation. I just think this is such a great game. Super cool book with awesome layout and illustration, so it makes a good gift. And there's a brand new adventure that just came out this year called Secret of the Night Market that turns shopping in a Fey market into a full-on adventure. All the Perils and Princesses stuff is just such an easy recommendation, especially for anyone with kids, but also adults who like a more whimsical tone in their fantasy adventures. Oh yeah, I'll have a link to everything I'm talking about in this video down in the description. Check them out. Now, I get asked all the time, what kind of games should I play with my kids? And if you've got really young kids that you're looking to start playing RPGs with, you can't do better than Let's Go Rumino by Eric Oakland. There's no math and the character sheets are all about drawing and using your imagination. It couldn't be more intuitive to run, so if you're a parent that's never run a game before, you don't have to sweat it. Everything comes in a single zine, so you don't need to worry about a bunch of extra stuff. And you can run sessions for just 10 minutes if you want. Of course, you can go longer. You know, a little 10-minute mini session while you're driving to school or eating breakfast. It's so simple and perfect for those little kiddos looking to stretch their imagination. On the exact opposite spectrum of Let's Go Rumino, there's Crown of Salt by Tanya Herrero. This one is a Morkborg adventure. Of course, you can run it with whatever fantasy game you want. Couldn't be any cooler. I'm so glad I found this book and a bunch of their others. I just had to put them on the list. And just reading through this book is like reading a full-on story full of flavor and setting and characters and vibes. But there's all the stuff you need to run it as an adventure as well. Obviously, the illustrations are absolutely incredible. Just look at this stuff. Saltworm and goblin shark goblins. Like, come on, so cool. This is one of those examples where because the person illustrating the book is also the author, there's this cohesive vision happening with the entire presentation that is just so perfect. And the actual adventure is great too. You search through these caves until you find this crazy temple and face off against the castigator. I also just got their new book, The Menagerie of Unbearable Things, another storybook vibe where you can like read it front cover to back cover, but also like a monster manual. I'm a new fan of Tanya's, and I can't wait to read more of their stuff. Kind of the same vibe. I'm also a big fan of World Champ Games. Adam Vass is a super cool creator and publisher. I recently picked up this Instant Starship by Jack Panic, and it's just my kind of rules light space game that I'm in the mood for. And you know I love a good zine that has everything you need. Full-on game, multiple nights worth of gaming here in this 20-page zine. So awesome. There are a bunch of other cool games at World Champ Games Co. like Michigan Dogman and this Freedom Zine. This one's a short little game about dismantling the oppressive oligarchs. It's all prompt-based with playing cards, but check out this energy mechanic. You use a D6 to track your energy, and when you run out, you can refresh it by stopping the game completely and taking care of yourself in the real world. I just love that stuff so much. And all of these zines, and even the little hardback book like Bloodborg, where you play as gutter punk vampires, make for such awesome gifts because they're just full of these cool ideas. And even though they're gross and weird, you can just tell that a lot of care and love goes into the design of these games. I love it. I love it. If you want something a little more friendlier, but just as thoughtful and well designed. Check out Good Luck Press. I really love these two zines by Seb Pines and Will Yopes. Between the covers is a collection of simple, kind of intimate games that would be a great gift for a partner. There's a game where you listen to each other's heartbeats, or one where you ask each other questions while slowly getting closer and closer and maintaining eye contact. There's some spicy stuff in this one, but the other zine, the Hidden in the Margins one, is a bunch of games all about writing on paper and sketching, and there's some like origami stuff. A great way of playing something a little different, short games that will expand your horizons. Really, really cool stuff. Earlier this year, I got to play a game of Weird Heroes of Public Access and had a ton of fun. This little book is a fantastic game where you play as a host of a public access TV or radio show. You go on adventures solving mysteries in this weird town. What I love about this book is that everything about it feels kind of crappy and hand done, but in the best possible way. So if you're looking for a gift to give someone that's into the weird stuff and likes DIY and has dreams of having their own public access TV show, definitely check out Weird Heroes of Public Access. I also want to shout out Beetle Night by Jim Hall as another great gift. If you have someone in your life who was really into the Silk Song video game this year, just buy them this game. You play as a bug adventurer. The art is great. Everything is risograph printed, so it feels unique and special. Just an awesome little game, pun intended. Great Beetle Night. Great game. The next game on the list is one that I recommend all the time. If you're looking for a gift for the 5e player in your life, especially if they want to simplify things a little bit, I love Nimble. I'm amazed that Evan Diaz has taken what's cool about the 5e heroic fantasy experience and streamlined it into, let's be honest, a much more fun experience. I'm not the only one saying it. Wizards of the Coast should take note because Nimble is the way to play. The 3 core books are smaller and easier to use, but still have all the customization and cool stuff that you want from that kind of game. All of it for a really amazing price, considering this is a single author making this game, not some huge company. And now that I'm thinking about it, if you're a 5e GM, I mean, you should just get it for yourself. But if you're a 5e GM that has players that might be interested in running games, but they're too intimidated by the process, Nimble would be a fantastic gift for them, some encouragement to get them running games. The other game I've been recommending nonstop is Land of Eam by James Parks and Ben Costa. This box set, this is the special edition box set. It's huge. It would be a crazy awesome gift, but look at this thing. This is premium stuff right here. I absolutely love the artwork. It matches my sensibilities exactly, but don't let the cartooniness fool you. This is a legit tabletop role-playing game. It's a D12 system with skills and classes, folk ancestries. You're going to be exploring hexes, and I think this is a perfect mix of new and old school style games. It's got the convenience of the new stuff, but you're also like doing hex crawl, exploring and seeing what happens stuff too. And let's talk about this Mucklin Sandbox book. This thing right here is absolutely filled to the brim with imagination and amazing places to explore. You can run the game right out of the book. You don't have to prep a ton of stuff. There's wacky encounters and serious danger. And this is a huge book. You can play adventures in the Mucklands for years. I can't say enough good things about Land of Eam. I love it. It's so cool. So Exalted Funeral, the publishers of Land of Eam, also just released Gavin Norman's another crazy huge book, Dolmenwood. This is a massive game and setting. The mechanics are actually pretty straightforward. D6, D20 with some stats, AC, all that good old school stuff. You can play as a little bat goblin or a shape-shifting cat or a moss person or a goat guy, or I guess you could be a elf or a boring old human if you wanted. But the real draw here is the huge Fey forest setting to explore. I've just started diving into this book, but it's filled with so much detail and so many fun ideas. But at the same time, it's presented so simply. It feels manageable. Everything is like kind of on one sheet or 2-page spread, or, some of the dungeons go, but just reading through it, it feels like it would be super easy to run right at the table. The artwork is fantastic. The maps, man, I love these Arlen Ortiz maps so much. Big fan of Arlen Ortiz. And speaking of them, I've got an Arlen dungeon map hanging on my wall right above my desk. Actually, this year I got myself a bunch of new art, and I think a framed print would be an awesome gift. I think it's really important having something special to look at, whether it's a sweet Street Fighter risograph or a cool Lord of the Rings illustration or a Skullboy print. Whenever I want to look at something cool, if I can just look up and it's there inspiring me, I think that's the best. And speaking of cool prints, back to Arlen Ortiz again. Let's talk about some Patreons that I think would make for a great gift, a gift subscription. I've been a patron of Arlen's for a long time. Each month I get one of these risograph postcards in the mail, and they always make my day. I'm just a fan, so having a little physical object show up every month is so cool. Now, I have a Patreon as well where I make my own monthly zines, just saying. But if you like the stuff I make, you should absolutely check out James Gifford, who creates these beautifully illustrated magic items on Patreon. RPG Tunes and R&W, who do these crazy cool quest packs with printable maps and terrain. Really awesome stuff. And then there's also Slow Quest, who I've talked about on this channel a bunch. I just adore their adventures and their illustrations so much. Bodhi's Patreon is a great one to sign up for. Support some creators that are pumping out awesome stuff every month. If you're interested in a similar subscription kind of gift, I want to highly recommend the RPG Zine Club. You can get 2 zines a month from different designers, and I think this is absolutely the best way of discovering new games and creators you might have otherwise missed. This is maybe 1/3 of the zines I've gotten from the RPG Zine Club. It's seriously the coolest thing. I just got this Picaro, probably saying that wrong too, game. Super cool early modern fantasy roleplay and wealth redistribution. There's a game about reliving the liberation of your country. There's a apocalypse road trip. There's a Halloween trick-or-treating game, cowboy game, all kinds of stuff that I never would have discovered otherwise. Super cool. Just way to love TTRPGs. I wish I had a few more good tools and resources to help you create RPG stuff, because I think those always make awesome gifts. But this next one is the tool, or it's a game too, but the tool I've looked at the most this year, and that is The Perilous Void by Jason Lutz. I've been running an in-person game of Starborg for a while, and whenever I get stuck for an idea, I just open up this book, and there's always something good to find in here. So this is a sci-fi world generation game, but really it's just some solid procedures and roll tables for making up wild alien stuff, and I love it. It's super helpful, and especially if you have someone that likes sci-fi world building, definitely grab a copy of The Perilous Void. Okay, there are so many cool games and books and zines out there. I feel like I could do a whole nother video about this stuff. Let me know what you're planning on getting this holiday season down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!